I want to express my solidarity with the people of Vicenza, the people of Italy, in their opposition to the American military base in Vicenza, and in fact to their opposition to American military bases throughout Italy. I believe we have something in common, that is, we the people of the United States and the people of Italy. And what we have in common is that we do not believe in military bases. We do not believe that any country should have a military base in another country. We do not believe in militarism. We do not believe in war. And what purpose do military bases serve except in war? The United States has military bases in 130 countries. They have at least 500,000 troops stationed in all of these military bases all over the world. Now, what is the purpose of these military bases? Will they protect the United States? Will the bases in Vicenza, Italy, protect the people of Italy? Historically, whenever the United States has established military bases in other countries, it has not been to protect the people of those countries. It has not done any good for the people of the United States. It has been good for the political leaders. It has been good for the corporations that get very lucrative billion-dollar contracts to establish and to keep going these military bases. Military bases are good to create an atmosphere of fear in the country where they are established, and also to help create an atmosphere of fear in the United States. But we don't need these military bases. What are they there for? Is there a threat? Has there ever been a threat to the United States of America? There's been no country that has invaded the United States since the War of 1812. The United States is not in danger. Therefore, establishing a military base is not a defensive act, it's an offensive act. And I think it's time for us to declare that we do not believe that military bases deal in any significant way with the threat of terrorism. This is the excuse given by the United States today for its war in Iraq, for its war in Afghanistan, for its military bases. The excuse is we are guarding ourselves against terrorism. This does not make sense. How can nuclear weapons guard against terrorism? The United States has 300 Trident submarines. These submarines carry thousands of nuclear warheads. Can somebody explain to us how these submarines with nuclear warheads protect us against 10 terrorists who decide to enter some place and plant a bomb and blow it up? Doesn't make any sense at all. The war on terrorism does not make any sense, because the truth is, war cannot stop terrorism. War is terrorism. The phrase war against terrorism is a contradiction in terms. You cannot make war against terrorism because war is the highest form of terrorism. War waged by nations with their fleets of bombs and airplanes. War is a far more dangerous form of terrorism than anything that any small group of terrorists can do. And so they are simply trying to deceive us, these leaders of governments in the United States, governments in Europe, trying to deceive us about terrorism. There's only one response to terrorism, which is intelligent, and that is to seek out the causes of terrorism, to try to find out why is it that terrorist acts occur, And when you do this historically, and this is true for 9/11, this is true for the IRA, this is true for the Palestinian suicide bombers, when you seek out the causes of terrorism, you find that it is always a grievance, a political grievance. And usually it is because these people are being occupied, and these people do not want to be occupied. The Middle East is being occupied by the United States. They don't want to be occupied. The Palestinian territories are being occupied by Israel. They do not want to be occupied. Occupation leads to terrorism. There have been studies made which show this, that terrorism is not the result of religious fanaticism. It's the result of very deep felt and, yes, fanatical political beliefs. But these fanatical political beliefs are the same political beliefs that are held by millions of people, except that only a small number of these millions of people with these grievances, only a small number of them will turn to terrorism. But if you want to do away with terrorism, you must do away with the grievances that cause millions of people to be hostile to the United States. So we need to completely change our thinking about terrorism, get at the roots of terrorism, get at the causes of terrorism. For the United States, for the citizens of the United States, this means we must change the policy of the United States. And right now, the United States is the most dangerous country in the world. Changing the policy of the United States means that the United States must give up its military bases all over the world. The United States must stop stationing its warships in every sea of the world. The United States must stop being a military superpower threatening people all over the world. The United States must take its huge wealth and use that wealth for the benefit of its own people and for the benefit of people in other countries who need help. We have something in common. We, the people of the United States and the people of Italy, and more people in the United States are recognizing this. Because now, you may know, most of the American people are opposed to this war in Iraq. Most of the people in the United States are opposed to the Bush regime. A huge number of people in the United States want Bush and Cheney and their administration removed from office. We have something in common. The Italian people, the people of Europe, the people all over the world have something in common, and their governments have nothing in common with them. And so we must stand together against militarism, against war, recognizing war cannot solve any serious problem of justice that exists in the world. We will have to solve whatever problems there are without war, without militarism, without military bases. And I hope that in this future, the people of Italy, people of the United States, people of Europe, people all over the world will more and more mobilize against their own governments and against the idea of war and create a decent and humane and peaceful world.